Great good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Tuesday, July 28th, year of our Lord 20 and 26. My Cordaro Jewelers Wash says it's 9:13. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. It might just as well be the American band. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America, the place where the brave, like the veterans we salute today, thanks to our man John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care Group, like Joseph Gaughan, Greenfield Township, Peter DeLeo, Bechtelsville, but he was from Oliphant, Fred Schweinsberg, South Canaan, and Charles Dark, Danville. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers who knew that government should not be and set about to make sure it would never be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation, because they knew that government power always means less freedom, less liberty, and less choice. They also knew that power of government, of corporations, of anything, because of human nature, would be abused. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared by law to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, even if it's abused by liars. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, these Americans, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. Well, another day, another water break. Now, when I don't know if I'm going to give advice to Pennsylvania American Water Company. I don't think I should have to. When you fix part of a pipe, then it makes other portions of the pipe, which were as old as the one that just broke, it makes them vulnerable. Interesting. So another pipe broke. The first one is in front of City Hall. The second one in front of the Federal Building. And a complete mess. So those people who had no water, well, they didn't know what to do. And City Hall, the mayor closed it. First of all, she was out of town. She was in Washington, D.C., trying to raise money for her disgusting, lie-filled, scummy congressional campaign. So she wasn't around. And so you couldn't they closed City Hall. I said this yesterday. So it's a crisis in the city for the second time in a week, but City Hall was closed. Who are you going to call? Okay, maybe them, because there was no mayor. She showed up for the cameras later in the afternoon. You gotta call the Ghostbusters. You ain't gonna call the mayor. She's not here. She wasn't here when she wasn't running for Congress. My God almighty. I went to pay a ticket yesterday that I got when I stopped by Blackwatch. And I had to pay the ticket. So I go down to the police station, which, by the way, they've got plenty of space to fit whatever insanity this $2 million Fidelity Bank building is supposed to accommodate. Okay? Surveillance. I was something so stupid you can't even make it up. Anyway, they were closed. I couldn't pay the ticket. I couldn't pay the ticket. The city didn't want the money. So now, and fortunately, I believe he was a detective. He looked very familiar to me, but I just didn't know his name. And he was leaving the building the same time as I am. He said, look, you could pay it online. Try that, and if not, come down tomorrow and we won't, charge you extra for the ticket. So thank you to him. But this is insanity. In the middle of two crises, the mayor closed City Hall. And the city employees went home when people needed them. The cabinet guy points out, and I saw it, Rob Bresnahan was on site for the second time helping people who were devastated by this water main breakage. And I posted something from a small store. It's next to Northern Lights there on Spruce Street. And, what the heck was the name of it? I'll get it. But in any event, they're just saying, what are we supposed to do? Hey, Bulldog, put that milk carton image on the live stream. The milk carton image I sent you. Did you get it? You're saying you didn't get it? He looks at me like he's confused. There's a great meme, and it's Paige Cognetti on a milk carton. She's missing. She's missing, and we're going to put it on the live stream today. You just tell me you don't have it, Bulldog? All right, he doesn't have it. He claims. But that doesn't mean it's true now, by the way. I've been dealing with him for a long time. I'm going to send it to you on your phone, Bulldog. Because I want people to remember that their mayor was missing in action again. But Rob Bresnahan was there. He was there for the people of the Hotel German last week when the mayor was not. And he was there downtown checking things out and trying to help yesterday. And by the way, that's not just campaigning. That's because he gives a spit. There's a big difference. Showing up later on for the evening news, rushing from your fundraiser. And in Washington, D.C., and closing City Hall. That's the one that drives me out of my mind. Wow. She's the worst mayor in history. She's the worst mayor in history. It's disgusting. And then her campaign is sickening. It's full of lies, complete fabrications about cutting this and cutting. Shut up. You're on a milk carton. We can't even find you. All right. We're going to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. I am in a lather this morning, but I want to remind you that if you want to see the milk carton, the Bulldogs are going to get it up. Otherwise, they're going to kill them. Roach Supply is bringing you the live stream on YouTube. You go Bob Cordaro Show, WILK, and you will find us on YouTube. Roach Supply is the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. Visit Roach Supply, ROCHE.com today. We'll be back. Oh, nice. July 28, 1956, Elvis Presley rose to number one with his hit, See how I did that? And 1914, tragic. World War I begins. Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. Millions and millions eventually die. Oh, my God. The stupidity of man. And we're looking at electing Democrats and communists in this country. The stupidity of man just keeps getting repeated. It's frightening. And we have a feckless, lying, ineffective, corrupt mayor in Scranton who has provided no assistance, no help whatsoever for the people of Scranton, particularly those that live downtown, that have businesses downtown, in the midst of 2 successive water main breaks. Somebody said Nancy was defending Comrade Cognetti, stating it wasn't the mayor's fault for the water main break. No spit. No spit. Well, we didn't know that. We thought the mayor put the water mains in. See, that's the deflection. The listener then continues. Then she stated downtown Scranton is better than ever, implying it was because of the mayor, not the developers. Yeah, she impeded the developers. Ask any one of them, by the way. She impeded them. She caused headaches for them. She's a communist. She doesn't believe in people making money. She's going to compete with these developers who made the city survivable from her horrible reign. Unbelievable. Somebody takes in, maybe the mayor should be on American Water's ass about fixing old pipes in the city. Just a thought, says cabinet guy. I know. It's unbelievable. But wait, maybe she should just be there. Like, we're just asking the bare minimum. Be there. See what maybe you could do as the mayor of the city in the midst of a crisis. No, she shut down City Hall and she was MIA. And the milk carton's up on the live stream brought to you by Roach Supply. Mayor Cognetti on a milk carton. This is from a company called Freedlove. We got a cute little store downtown Scranton on Spruce Street. The owner says, today, while I'm here working every waking hour trying to salvage what's left of my business after the first water main break, we've been hit with another one. Once again, there's no water. Businesses have no restrooms. Some have had to close their doors. Downtown feels like a ghost town. This has been devastating, not just for Freedlove, but for so many small businesses downtown. When the city's walkability project, this is the mayor's, see, this is the left-wing idiocy of our mayor. When the city's walkability project was introduced, many of us worried about how months of construction would affect our businesses. Regardless of which projects the work is tied to, the ongoing construction, road closures, and parking disruptions throughout the summer have made it increasingly difficult for customers to access downtown businesses. Now, after a second water main break, many of us are wondering how much more we're expected to withstand. It's frightening. I reposted it because it was such a plaintive cry for a spitty mayor. She sucks. But don't forget the walkability project. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on Main Avenue in West Side near Far Street, near the Scranton Expressway. There won't be a human being walking on that sidewalk. I guarantee it. But that's what the communists want. A walkability project. Why do they want a walkability project? Because they're against automobiles. The Freedlove owner continues. Small businesses are the heart of this city, but right now it doesn't feel like it. I'm asking the city of Scranton to step up. Take accountability. That ain't ever happening. I'm sorry. Show up for the businesses that have been impacted. Sorry, because I'm out of town raising money for my sickening, lying, disgusting congressional campaign. The owner says, offer anything. I don't want sympathy. I want action. Stop construction and focus on the damage you have already caused. If this continues, there may not be many small businesses left to save. Please support your local businesses if you can, and I emphasize that point. I never speak up, but at this point I have nothing to lose because I feel like I've lost it all. Nadine, owner of Business Love, a business that's been in downtown Scranton for 15 years. They've never faced anything like Paige Cognetti. They've never dealt with anything like Paige Cognetti and her sickening incompetence. Absolutely disgusting. As someone said, but don't worry. Paige Cognetti came back in time for a photo once she saw Rob Bresnahan already doing the job she has. Yep. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. She's horrible. And she's absent. One of the left-wing lunatic anarchists, I can't even read what they said. I was going to call into Cordaro about the water main in Scranton, which is a PAWC problem. Again, think of the sick bastards defending this mayor. Think of them, who they are. You want to be on their side? Not me. Nothing to do with the mayor's office, this idiot says. Not true. And also data centers. Where does that come? Like, again, there's the kind of idiotic, disjointed thinking. Well, lack of thinking. But I remembered I don't talk to toothless, cousin bleeping piece of spit, retard Trump voting boomer bleeps. I'll tell you what. You know what? I'm gonna hold my tongue for this sick idiot. I'm gonna hold my tongue. All right, 9:35. Well, 9:36 on my Picardo's watch. Let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, and this day, as with every day. Brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. His Serenity Care personal care community, senior living in 4 locations: the Mid-Valley section of Lackawanna County, Old Forge in the southern tip of that county, Wyoming, and Kingston right here in Luzerne. All these 4 properties have been completely renovated inside and out, accepting new residents. All-inclusive monthly rent. Individually controlled heating and cooling in each resident room. Medication administration, safe storage at the nursing station, daily housekeeping and laundry, freshly prepared restaurant-quality meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Serenity Care, they tell you, live better, and you deserve it, I add. Joseph Gaughan, he was 92. We lost him July 8th. He was from Greenfield Township. Preceded in death by his wife, Margaret, in 2020, a proud veteran of military service. Surviving are his 6 children, his 10 grandchildren, his 9 great-grandchildren. A great legacy, Joseph Gaughan. Peter DeLeo, he was 88. He was from Bechtelsville. Born in Oliphant, graduate of Oliphant High School. Employed at U.S. Steel and McCafferty's Food Market prior to retirement. He was a U.S. Army veteran. He was a kind and loving brother, uncle, and cousin. Survived by his sister, his nieces, nephews, his grandnieces, grandnephews, his cousins, and other family members. Peter DeLeo, our great veterans this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Serenity Care Personal Care Community. Forecast for Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, PA. Brought to you by our great gang at Montage Mountain Resort, where the water park is in full swing. Today, mostly cloudy, not as warm. Couple of showers, a possible heavy thunderstorm. High of 76. See, they give all this editorial with. Okay, storms can bring flooding downpours and localized damaging wind gusts. Nothing against AccuWeather. They're great. But I don't need the editorial. I know these things. And by the way, so do the listeners. Tonight, heavy rain and a thunderstorm, probable, low 66. Tomorrow, more clouds than sun, humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 74, low 64 for Wednesday. Thursday, partial sunshine with a brief shower, humid, high 78, low 62. Friday, shifting clouds and sun, humid with a couple of showers, high 82, low 59. Saturday, mainly cloudy and humid, high 81, low 62. It's 69 degrees right now at Montage Mountain. The water park is having a great year. Murph tells us that this date, 1957, Jerry Lee Lewis debuted on the Steve Allen Show. He did his trademark kicking of the stool across the stage and pounded out notes on the piano with the heel of his shoe. It helped his hit, Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, skyrocket up the charts. This date, that year, Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. And, of course, before that, a non-woke comedian, which is always good to hear, by the way. Rich McHale texted. He says, morning, Bob. Today I'm in full of disgust as I want to puke at the sight of Governor Tim Walz. He is, I'm telling you what, it's a rogues gallery, these Democrats. They're so sickening, so full of lies and sick, twisted ideology. Yeah, they're pukable. They're all pukable. As I want to puke at the sight of Governor Tim, this man should be incarcerated for decisions that influence and harm our kids. If it's true, he has approved a bill that lets schools showcase trans dolls that have interchangeable genitalia. Jail him, and castration should be on the table. Nothing is bad enough for him. And hopefully there's an eternal reward that he is not expecting. And same for the lot of them. Come on, Bob. Cut the mayor some slack. At least she made it back to Scranton for the photo ops. Jeez. Oh, Lord. Hi, Bob. I'm born and raised between West Scranton and Greenridge. My relatives must be rolling in their graves at the current state of Scranton. It's so upsetting to drive through the city and see how destroyed it is. Any political figure that's been part of the last 10 years should not be allowed to pursue higher office, including Marty Flynn, they say. They should be ashamed. No, I'm telling you what, if it wasn't for these private developers that have kept the downtown and the city alive, it would be over. See, you can't let lunatics like Paige Cagnetti be in charge. You can't do it. Somebody takes in, the only thing I can think of why people would still vote for COG is the stuff she does is so over the top that Democrat voters can't believe it's true. That's actually right. Even if it's shoved right in their faces. Yep. LTS, Bob, did you see the new commercial? What a joke. She isn't part of this area. She needs to go back to Portland. By the way, they're already destroying that. Again, it's the locusts. They destroy where they're from and then come somewhere else and destroy that. Bob, if you don't stop saying spitty and piece of spit, you're going to slip one of these days and the FCC will want a word with you. Well, I cuss. Don't worry, Bob. The old boys club is scared of her. Oh, Lord. Joe from Trips Park says Paige is fixing the Trips Park sidewalks because she lives close to there part-time. Can't run for Congress if your own neighborhood sidewalks are falling apart, I guess. Yeah. And another text in, Far Street is the entrance to Trips Park where she has a fake home. I know. That's the point. Wasting our money on sidewalks that nobody will ever walk on. Lee says maybe she wants to get the local small shops out of here so she can replace them with government grocery stores. Oh, yeah, the Mondani theory. She's all in on it, by the way. Oh, Lord. It's unbelievable. The point, if that the mayor is responsible for water main breaks, I don't know. It just doesn't, because she is not here. I mean, I get that. That is the point. She's not in charge of the water mains. She's in charge of being there after the crisis happens, and she ain't, and City Hall was closed. 9:50 on my Bacardo's watch. My cousin Sheila Hallinan, the wife of Sid Hallinan, the weekend warrior who will be returning soon to the airwaves here, just had a birthday. So happy birthday, Sheila. And the song just happened to pop up. This date, 1962. Tommy Rowe debuted on the charts with his first single, Sheila. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Hey, let's go to Joe from Plains. He's getting signatures for that petition against the lunatic anti-free speech and anti-thought free thought legislation out of the Luzerne County left-wing lunatic.
Don't forget the full weaponization of the county.
Yep.
But I just wanted to check in and let you know that I'm down here at the Pittston Farmers Market. The weather's beautiful. 90% of the tents are open with all the people and their products. And right now it's nice out. Come on down, support your local vendors, and sign the petition. We have a little over a week left. We're right on target where we wanted to be, and it's time to step up if you haven't had a chance yet.
Joe, I'm hoping that people get what this brain disease in the Democrat Party is all about, and that it gets them not only to sign the petition but to vote this fall, because it's the Democrat Party is getting worse, not better.
We are having a lot of good conversation. There's a small minority who are going to just they're steadfast in their ways, and they don't understand anything but what they've always thought, and they don't open their mind to some of the things that are going to hurt them in the end.
Yeah.
But we're having some good conversations, and a lot of people are really disgusted with the way the county's been run, especially in the last 7 or 8 months.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you're at the Pittston
Farmers Market on South Main Street, and the weather is beautiful right now. Come on down.
Beautiful. Thank you, Joe. Thanks for doing it.
And thank you.
All right, my man. As we approach the top of the hour, we're going to have Dan Muser, our congressman, on the other side of the news. Somebody texted, Bob, I rarely listen to you, only in passing, as I don't listen too much to the radio in the morning. Is it possible for one to be so inflamed over every possible Democrat out there? No, only the ones I mentioned. But the entire party's diseased. I don't know. You haven't been paying any attention at all if you don't know that. Now, do you really have all the facts on page C and all the other Dems? I have all the facts on every Democrat I talk about. Oh, and every Republican, too, by the way. The listener continues, I don't know anything about it. Well, start listening. They say you cannot be that outraged on all of these things for real, right? All the best to you. Well, thank you for that. Yes, I am. Insanity works me into a lather. Stupidity works me into a lather. And I appreciate that you're not paying close attention. So many people have been turned off. But now we're at a critical stage where it actually is going to matter, because the Democrat Party has been taken over by people who hate this country. And it has percolated down to the local Democrats like Paige Cognetti. They hate the country. They hate the way it was founded. They hate the way it was established. They want power at any cost. And the cost is to us. And she's literally absent in the middle of 2 crises in a row. Yeah, it's insane. It's insanity. So pay attention to this show. We'll keep you informed. And I don't get outraged easily, by the way. The Communist Party and multi-billionaires like Singham, The Soros family, who, by the way, have maxed their contributions, multiple family members to Paige Cognetti, which should tell you everything you need to know about her. She had a little lunatic have a fundraiser at his house in Ballackinwood. He is the lead spokesman for a group and leader of a group that wants transgender surgery on children. Yep, that's who's for Paige Cognetti. All right, 10:02. Bob Cordaro, WILK. My Picardo Jewelers watch tells me it's time for the news with Brian Hughes. We'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful, Tuesday, July 28th, year of our Lord, 20 and 26. It's 10:07 on my Picardo's Watch This Beautiful Day. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care senior living community, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today, thanks to John, like Fred Schweinsberg, South Canaan, Charles Dark, Danville, Joseph Gahan, Greenfield Township, and Peter DeLeo, Bechtelsville, but he was from Oliphant. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. Well, Paige is absent. If you look at our live stream on YouTube, go to WILK, Bob Cordaro Show, and you'll see the YouTube deal. And I'll be there with my all-time great shirt on. And, of course, the split screen with the milk carton with Paige Cognetti on it. We're looking for her. She showed up after dark, rushed home from another Washington, D.C. fundraiser with a bunch of left-wing sickos and pretended she was doing something. She's absent without leave. And it's disgusting. And she's raising money to pay for more lies. Her entire campaign commercial, the body of all of her campaign commercials is full of lies and fake laughter because she's a complete phony. It's actually distressing. Rob Bresnahan did more than the mayor of Scranton about a Scranton crisis. And City Hall was closed by Paige Cognetti and her out-of-town minions. Well, when I think of something sickening like the mayor of Scranton, I have to think of something great. And that would be our other congressman, Dan Muser. And he is hard at work in Washington, D.C. Congressman Muser, how are you, sir? Do I have you? Maybe not.
It's always a pleasure. I'm sorry. I'm doing very well. Good to be with you. Thanks for having me join the Club for Common Sense. It always is refreshing.
So you have announced just the other day, and we'll start here, and then there's so much to talk about, $9.5 million in funding for upgrades to hospitals across your district. And that is fabulous because people don't realize all of our hospitals are considered rural for reimbursement rates. And this money is critical for them to continue delivering care.
You know, it really is. You know, over the last 10 years, particularly since Obamacare has kicked in, our rural hospitals have taken it on the chin. Their costs are going up, and they're just simply not profitable. So really, Rob Bresnahan, he actually deserves a lot of credit here. He was right in the middle of all this when we were negotiating it. We passed the Rural Health Care Transformation Fund, and it was only Republicans, by the way.
Oh, no, Paige Cognetti was against it. His opponent was against helping our local hospitals. It's amazing.
Madness.
Part of the big mediocre bill, yeah.
Yeah, and this had nothing to do with anything other than they wanted not to deliver a positive success story for President Trump or for Congress as a whole. That's one of their tactics, literally to make health care costs and premiums continue to go up so as they can point fingers and blame it on President Trump and on Republicans. And you just mentioned before lies, and I know that sounds terrible, but that's exactly what happened. They did not come back to the table to us even after they shut down the government over health care.
Yep.
premium costs. But we were able to pass this. This is very important. It's not necessarily going directly to consumers, but these costs and subsidies always get passed, always get have effect on the entire delivery system. So, $193 million is going to Pennsylvania over a 5-year period. In my district, we secured $9.6 million for 11 different hospitals, from Sayre, from Guthrie and Packer Hospital up in Sayre to Geisinger to St. Luke's. The list goes on to Lehigh Valley to many of our the Meadowview Rehab, Barnes Casson County, St. Luke's Hospital, Wyoming County Healthcare Center, which is a marvelous, incredible, some great folks up there in Tunkhannock. Bill Rourke and others, he led the way, got that hospital back and running. So it's really important work. We're dealing with increased premiums. Over the last 15 years since Obamacare went into effect, healthcare premiums have doubled for the average family from $13,000 to $27,000. Obamacare, by the way, we've lost on both ends with Obamacare. Obamacare to the taxpayer, the general taxpayer, went up from $400 billion in 2010 to over $1 trillion today. And you would have thought if that occurred, all that extra spending would have minimized premiums. But no, premiums also basically doubled over the course of that same time frame.
As did deductibles and copays.
As well as deductibles and copays. Most have gone from $2,000 to $4,000 or even $5,000 just to keep the premiums down. So those are the things that were passed in this bill. We just delivered, as I said, some nice funding for the district. I know in the 8th, Bresnahan secured some very strong funding for his as well. As I said, he was very impressive in handling this, working directly with the speaker. I mean, certainly I was there too, but credit goes where credit is due. So we're moving forward, and that's just one of the latest success stories. We, of course, our media portrays everything in the darkest manner possible, and I doubt even our local stations will publicize this. So thanks to you and the Club for Common Sense.
Congressman Dan Muser is our guest. Congressman Muser, you've seen and unfortunately have to deal with the leftward warp speed movement of the Democrat Party on Capitol Hill. It appears as though it's only going to get worse. Tell me, how is that going to impact just trying to get basic common sense business done?
Well, throw it out the window. We have a 3-seat, 4-seat majority, depending upon the day. So technically, they only need to pick up 4 or 5 seats. In a midterm, that's usually what happens historically. Only twice in 90 years didn't it? But the fact is, if we can get out the vote and people understand what the real stakes are here, they will come out to vote, and we will win. We will win strongly. You got people, again, back to Rob Bresnahan and Ryan McKenzie. Those are 2 battleground districts here in Pennsylvania. Scott Perry, he's more of an incumbent, and Brian Fitzpatrick down in Bucks County. But people just got to come out to vote because, look, what they're going to do is, come the end of the day, they will blow up the filibuster. I mean, that's more of a Senate issue, but they will stack the court. They're telling us they're going to do these things. They state they have a socialist agenda, but truly, there's no other way of saying it, not to sound extreme, but it's a communist agenda. It's full government control of the economy and the government and pretty much any freedoms. Yeah, they're all for freedom. The one that they give you, the freedoms that they give you. Yeah. They'll make D.C. and Puerto Rico a state. They'll have universal ballots. They will federalize the elections. They tried to do this last time around. So the truly is we're kind of at a pivot point in the Congress. Of course, we'll still have President Trump in the White House that will fend off a lot of this, but we will have nothing but crazy hearings, investigations, impeachments. They'll do everything to slow us down, everything to try to make us look bad for 28 election. And here is a guarantee. Here's my Joe Namath prediction. You elect folks
someone like a Paige Cognetti or any of them, because the party, the Socialist Democrat Party, which they now call themselves, is so extreme. Paige will spend lots of time rationalizing the things that they say and do. Oh, they really didn't say that. Oh, they're really not going to do that. Rationalizing it. She will vote with the extreme left, and that is Omar, Tlaib, all of the Progressive Caucus, the Squad, 98% of the time. That's my prediction. I'm not going to say 100. Probably once or twice every quarter, she won't vote with them. But that's who you will be electing. And if that's who you want, then what can I say? I don't know Northeast PA as well as I think I do.
Yeah, I think they're going to get that. Not only is she a left-wing lunatic, but that she's an incompetent, which I've had to suffer as a citizen of Scranton. So what are the big issues? Like, what else is on the agenda this summer? I do want to talk about a little bit about the Iran war, but let's go to that. The Iran war. I'm getting frustrated with President Trump. I know I don't know. Are we short of weaponry and munitions? Is that the reason for the delay? Because there is no negotiations with these lunatics. There isn't.
Well, perhaps you're right. The president puts human life first, whether it's Iranian or the enemy. Human life first. So he's trying. Yeah. You might say he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. He's trying to bring this thing to a reasonable. He just has too much reason in his mind to think that a country would be willing to let itself get destroyed and completely lose their lives and their regime because we say you can't have a nuclear weapon. But as we saw recently, Bill Clinton even said every negotiation that he even did with them well, this is more with the PLO in the 90s.
Same mindset.
They didn't want anything. They wanted to keep the terrorist activities going. They wanted to keep the jihad going. That was their main focus, and not their main focus, their only focus. So anyway, where we are in the war is we completely control the air around Iran. The Strait of Hormuz is largely under our control. The other part we're just simply not using. We don't need to. So, oil and everything will stabilize. Look, we've had, if you look at the list.
You're comfortable that we don't have to put boots on the ground to have complete control, and that is unfettered commerce through the Straits of Hormuz?
Yeah, I think we can do it without it, and I think we will. That may take a little bit longer, but that Karg Island, for instance, we could take that any time we want at this point. Our intel is higher than ever, and sometimes we take these pauses, not for them, not even for them to play their negotiation games, but because we need to restock and reboot a little bit and reevaluate. So we're running this thing; they're not. I had my staff the other day, and we all have it in mind, put together the list of atrocities, terrorist acts, murders that were committed by the Iranian regime since, for the last 47 years, as we hear, both on the U.S. and our allies. There have been over 6,000 killings of allies and Americans, over 2,500 Americans indirectly through their proxies. They are the only source of terrorism in the world and have been for the last 20 years, since 9/11. They had celebrations on 9/11 when our Americans were murdered by, largely the Saudi terrorists and Osama bin Laden's gang, Al-Qaeda. They cheered like to no end. They hate us. They want to go to war with us. Yes, they hate Israel too, but they largely hate Israel because we're so close with Israel. That they are our enemy. I hate even referring to anyone as an enemy. They are our enemy, and only way to deal with them is via strength. The president was not going to do what was done in the past, because all that does is literally pass it along to the next administration, which is please, we'll let your sanctions be open. You'll be able to enrich yourselves. Just do it yourselves, and if you promise not to enrich uranium. We found out that they are enriching it to this point of 60%. There's only one reason for 60% enriched uranium, and that is to make a nuclear bomb. And they refused to stop, so the president stopped them.
Well, I'm pointing out this. As frustrated as I have been with the pauses in the conflict, I am incredibly proud of Trump for going forward prior to the midterms with this effort, because he understood that with their development, not only would they probably have a nuclear device, they might use it before that period of time, because that's their stated goal, to bring about their version of apocalypse, the 12th Imam's return, by massive destruction and chaos. And that's what they say they're going to do. I'm not making it up. That's what they say they're going to do. It took a lot of guts and overlooking political certainty by President Trump, and I'm proud of him for that.
Right, and that's a lot of courage, right? I mean, look at a guy, it's compared to John Fetterman, but John Fetterman put courage over communism, or the country over his party. And President Trump, certainly, our economy, our inflation would be lower, the price at the pump would be lower, the Democrats wouldn't have, the socialist Democrats wouldn't have the anything to rail against, but then again, of course, they'd come up with it as well as the media. Our economic growth would be strong, but he did this because he sees a terrible wrong that finally needs to be righted. And look, I don't like it any better than anybody else, but it's just one of those things that we gotta take care of this business. All of the Gulf nations are encouraging us on, cheering us on, supporting us. It's really going to bring the Middle East together in the end. And and Russia and China are they're significant players, not just in this, but in a lot of things, primarily China. And then we can get back to focusing there. And look what the president's doing. He's bringing Xi Jinping in next month. So he's a busy guy looking at all the puzzle pieces. When we freed Venezuela, that was 15% of China's energy. Iran was another 15 to 20%. That's 35% of China's energy that we are basically now in control of.
Well, by the way, another incredible thing that was accomplished with the Indonesians was overflight rights. And that is critical for the defense of Southeast Asia and the South China Sea.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot to this and some interesting aspects.
And the Panama Canal. We can't even forget about that one.
Let me tell you, I visited the Panama Canal. It was one of the best congressional trips I made. It was absolutely remarkable where the Panama Canal was 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and where it is today. I am telling you completely honestly, it was getting completely under the control of China. The people there were fearful, but they were buying into it, and now that's all been corrected thanks to President Donald Trump.
Amazing. Well, Congressman Muser, thank you so much. Keep kicking butt for us. Keep fighting it out. We appreciate it. I know there's got to be times when you're frustrated with the inanity in Washington, D.C., but we need you.
Yeah.
We need you.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. But fortunately, I'll be in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania a lot more over the next several weeks, and just look forward to the many events. It's fair time. There's a lot of good things, and we just want to talk about the positive things, address the questions, show the rationale behind it, and show that our party is the one of common sense, and they describe themselves as dare we say communists. So there's a big contrast here.
Well, thank you so much. Congressman Dan Muser, always appreciate you being with us and talking to your constituents, and truly appreciate the job you're doing.
Bob, you're fantastic. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Dan Muser, our congressman. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Serenity Care, a personal care community, one of John Basiliga's great company. 4 locations in the Mid-Valley section of Lackawanna County, the Old Forge on its southern tip, Wyoming, and Kingston in Luzerne County. Personal care and dementia care services at the Mid-Valley and Kingston locations. All 4 facilities have been completely renovated inside and out. They are the gold standard for senior living in Northeast Pennsylvania. Serenity Care says, live better. By the way, good news, water service has been restored to the Murley facility, the Gino Murley Veterans Facility in downtown Scranton. Fred Schweinsberg, we lost him July 8th. He was from South Canaan. He was stricken ill in Hamlin and passed away that day. Fred and his late twin brother David were born in Greenport, New York. 1961 graduate of the former Lake Consolidated School in Lake Ariel. After completing his education, Fred joined the military, and he served honorably and proudly in the United States Army. After honorable discharge, he went on to have a 35-year career with the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission. Fred was well known for generously giving his time and service to his community, including the Lake Ariel Volunteer Fire Company, where he served as first assistant fire chief for many years. He stepped in as chief when he was needed to do so. He also served 2 terms as South Canaan Township Supervisor. Loved hanging out with his old and new friends at the McDonald's in Hamlin. He greatly enjoyed spending time and working in the shop with his grandson, Joey. Also surviving, his son, Carl, his daughter, Robin Klein, and her husband, Joseph, his grandson, Joey Klein, nieces, nephews, and others, preceded in death by his 4 brothers. Fred Schweinsberg, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and his Serenity Care senior living community, who says, live better. You deserve it. AccuWeather forecast for Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, and Northeast Pennsylvania. Today, mostly cloudy, not as warm. Couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm possible. High 76. Tonight, heavy rain and a thunderstorm, low 66. Tomorrow, more clouds than sun. Humid with a couple of showers possible and a possible thunderstorm. High 74, low 64. Thursday, partial sunshine with a brief shower. Humid. High 78, low 62. Friday, shifting clouds and sun. Humid with a couple of showers. High 82, low 59. Saturday, mainly cloudy and humid. High 82, low 62. And that is great water park weather for the friends at Montage, who bring you the AccuWeather forecast. 70 degrees right now at Montage Mountain. Doesn't it feel good whenever Tina Morocco's in the house. She's Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International Realty, Naples, Florida. She is your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You can reach her at Sotheby's Realty, Naples, or Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, or Tina Morocco on any social media. Here she is. Hi, Tina. How are you?
Hey, Bob. I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm in a lather as usual, but you calm me down, and I'm truly much better after hearing your theme song.
That's
I
good.
really am.
Well, let me set the scene for today.
Please do so.
So today I'm in downtown Naples. I'm actually on one of the waterfront listings that I have on Naples Bay. And I was just looking at the boats thinking, as a buyer, I was just thinking as a buyer, when you're looking at properties online and you're looking for waterfront properties online, there's a lot of things to consider and a lot of things that when you're looking at prices, you probably things that wouldn't immediately be apparent. Like, why is this one priced so high? Why is this one priced so low? Mm-hmm. And a lot of different factors there. Just in Naples, there's a lot of different ways to get to the Gulf. There's indirect access and direct access. And for example, in Marco Island, I have a listing coming in Marco Island, and a lot of the waterfront properties there lead to the Gulf, but a lot of times there's bridges. And so that might not be a big deal unless you have a boat that's taller. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of the fishing boats are taller. And a lot of times buyers buy in Marco Island not realizing that their boat will not fit under the bridge. So, yeah.
And by the way, I've experienced it when one boat, not only are they waiting forever, but then when they do bring up the drawbridge, then you're waiting forever.
Right, yeah. And some of the boats don't have drawbridges. So some of the bridges aren't drawbridges. So it's like, you can't get out. So you need to get a different boat. It's like... Well,
not
when you're
like
looking
Jaws.
at...
You don't need to get a bigger boat. You need to get another one.
Yeah. Different format. So there's a lot of different things to think about. And as I'm listing this property that has direct Gulf access, when, as a buyer, you're looking at all these different properties and like, why is this one priced more? Well, because you can have, it's unlimited size, as far as how tall it goes. But the other thing you need to think about too is the canal length or the width too. So if you have a big boat, a lot of these canals are narrow. So you need to be able to turn your boat around or back it up. So you have to think about that as you're looking, virtual buying of a property in, a waterfront property can be dicey if you have a boat. So that's why, connecting with an agent that is familiar with the waterways is very important because those can be expensive mistakes.
And again, it's repetitious, but that's why I just check with you. Check with Tina Morocco, because she thinks about all these things. These are the kinds of things, and I'm so happy you brought this up. These are the kinds of things that can lead to costly mistakes, aggravating mistakes, if you don't have somebody like you guiding the process. It's very important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it gets very entertaining for people that live on the waterfront to see some of these boats trying to navigate for the first or second time. Yeah. Very entertaining on the weekends here.
Except for the person who didn't listen to Tina.
Exactly.
It's not entertaining.
Exactly.
It's not fun for them. Well, Tina, thank you so much. Another thing to think about and another reason to check in with your trusted guide to Florida real estate, Tina Morocco, either at Sotheby's in Naples or direct Tina Morocco, MURACCO, either her website, tinamorocco.com, or any social media. Thanks, Tina.
You're welcome.
I'm calm. I'm calm and cool once again.
With visions of the Gulf.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
You're
And I don't want to be in a lather all the time. Thank God for Tina. Hey, let's go right to the blower. We got Glenn from Plains. Glenn, how are you? Glenn.
Hello.
Hi, Glenn.
Thanks for taking my call.
Happy
I
to.
have a suggestion for Congressman Dapper Dan Mutual. Remember Dapper Dan Flood?
Yes,
That term? Right. Okay.
yes.
Yep. I have an idea. Original idea. It's called the New MAD, Mutually Assured Destiny. This is where it would be formalizing the existing cooperation of the 9 countries that have nuclear weapons. They are not using them after all these decades. So this new MAD would be an organization through the United Nations that would formalize.
And for the listeners, MAD was particularly regarding ourselves in the Soviet Union, was mutual assured destruction, which is one of the theories they said, well, that's why nuclear war can be prevented. So, okay, you're going to look to update this. I like the idea.
This is the 21st century new MAD, Mutually Assured Destiny. This will be peace for the rest of the century across the world. And the Congress Mutual should talk to Trump about this. And the point is, important point, Trump would work with Japan to lead this new MAD through the United Nations Committee to organize it. See, Japan has the gravitas and the sympathy of the world, having suffered the horror of nuclear bombs. So Japan should lead this committee through the United Nations to organize and formalize, that's the key word, formalize the existing cooperation between the 9 countries to all formally agree not to use them against each other and to stop any other country from getting nuclear weapons, specifically now Iran.
Yes.
So this would take the United States off the hook and have the whole world focus on stopping Iran from getting nuclear weapons.
I mean, it's a bit utopian, but I don't disagree with you. It's amazing to me how many countries have not stepped up when Iran is an existential threat to world peace and the world economy, particularly should they get a nuclear weapon.
Exactly. And they haven't stepped up, and I think they're just waiting for an organization to help them step up.
Maybe.
And this new MAD, I hope Congressman Neutral is listening, I'm sure he is, will codify it and formalize and bring in all these other countries who don't want the horror of nuclear bombs, nuclear weapons. And everybody, so the whole world will focus on stopping Iran. And this will bring peace and prosperity for the whole 21st century, for the entire world.
Well, I like it. I like the idea, Glenn. I'm not so confident in the United Nations, but I like the idea. Maybe we should do it ourselves outside of the United Nations. But I like it.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
All right, my man. And thanks for thinking about these things. It's important we do. All right. We got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors, and then we'll come back. I want to remind you, if you go to our live stream on YouTube, you get to see my smiling and alternately scowling moon face, but you get to see Paige Cognetti on the milk carton. We're looking for her. And yesterday, City Hall was closed, so the people had to call the Ghostbusters. We'll see how that worked out for some of them. But Roach Supply bringing you all that. ROCHE, RoachSupply.com. Bath and Kitchen, the best. We'll be back. This date, 1973, Murph tells us the Grateful Dead, the band, and the Allman Brothers. Wow. They performed before 600,000 fans at Watkins Glen Summer Jam. The band is the group Murph chose the night they drove Old Dixie down. Wow, what a concert that must have been. Bob Cordaro back. And, of course, this is the anniversary. Back in 1945, the U.S. Army bomber crashing into the 79th floor of New York's Empire State Building. 14 people killed. All right, Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Fred from West Pittston, he's been very patient. Let's get to him right now. How are you, Fred?
How you doing, Bob? Bob, I'm just telling you, 1 month from now, the Italian Festiano will be on that premises where them breaks were, correct?
Where at? Oh, yes.
In
Festa
1 month.
Italiana Labor. Well, a little more than a month. Yeah, a month. Wow. It's shocking. Wow. Yes.
Yeah. So listen to this. You better have a contractor's set up, ready to go, and water buffaloes on every corner. And you'll see me there with the boots on, the raincoat, the goggles, and I'll be in line with the porchettas at the Union. And my luck, she'll blow, and I'll be third in line to get my porchettas, and they'll blow.
You know,
I just tell you, that's coming up.
You just shocked my conscience and how quickly time is flying by. Yeah,
I know,
Festa
Bob.
Italiana's a month away, and the courthouse square is a disaster. Yeah.
If you see me with the raincoat and Bresna hat for Congress on the back and the boots on with the buckles from Army and Navy, that's me.
I remember those boots with the buckles.
You remember them?
Do we have enough dexterity, Fred, to
remember
put
we
those?
used to go to school? Remember we used to go to school with them on?
Yeah.
And you have your shoes inside, and you take them off, and you put them by the heaters.
But how about those things? I don't think we can manipulate those buckles anymore.
No, they're still out there. They're just hard to find, but you get them. Remember the Army and Navy?
Yeah.
And then the peacoats. Remember that place?
Oh, I had a couple of peacoats. Love them.
Yeah. But I'm just telling you, that's a nice thing that goes on. You know, you better have a buffalo on every corner because something's going to happen. I can feel it.
We thank you for that, Fred. But I'm frightened that it feels like the summer's almost over.
That's pretty sad because all these pipes, you know, and they're old. I don't know when they're in.
Well, as soon as you know this, and I said at the top of the show, I'm not anywhere qualified to give advice, but when one part of an old pipe system breaks and you replace it, another part almost always breaks.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
So
but
what's
I don't like
next?
to say these things. You know what I mean? Because I put pipe in before, and pipe rots. You know what I mean? And the pipe that's in there from the 40s and 50s is the stuff that now they put all plastic. So, you know.
We're gonna see. We'll see if
Let's
Fred.
Pray for our
we're gonna
country,
see if
Bob.
Fred. We need prayer.
We need prayer for our country for these wars.
When Paige Cognetti's the type of person running the show in Scranton and trying to be a congressperson, we're in trouble.
You know what she reminds me of? You remember when you were young and you first start dating, you brought a girl to one of your cookouts. Your mother said, "If I ever see that girl in my premise again, you'll be the sleeping bag in the canteen you'll be down by the river." You remember your mother could identify a tramp right off the bat.
Well, they only have us for that reminder now.
Oh my God! He looks exactly like that girl I brought when I was 16. My mother said, "Get her out of here now."
Get her out of here. She's a phony. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Fred. Appreciate it, man. I gotta see if I have a pair of those boots with buckles.
Yeah, you better wear them because you might need them.
All right, man. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, scary stuff. And again, I'm not blaming Paige Cognetti for the breakdown. Again, because, again, that's how they deflect when they're defending the indefensible. They deflect to another issue altogether. I am pointing out the fact, not the guess, that she's been MIA, that she's been on as far as the people and businesses downtown Scranton. She was on a milk carton, missing in action. It's a disgrace. And she's horrendous, and she should resign from the mayorship right now. She should resign. Run for Congress. Try to ruin the whole country, but stop ruining Scranton. We're going to beat you for Congress, though, because people get it. They really do. Somebody said, yeah, and not only is she not an out-of-towner, but the business administrator, who's the deputy mayor, is also an out-of-towner. Frightening. Lindsey Graham, it's not formally lying in state. He's having a service, a ceremony. He's not. He's only a senator. He's not. He can't be lying in state. But they're doing that in the Capitol right now. We're watching it on my monitor. In any event, it is 11 o'clock, and my Cordaro Jewelers watch. It not only tells me it's 11 o'clock and change, it says, Bob, time for the news with Brian Hughes. That's how good this Picardo's watch is. We'll take this break and be back after that. Yes, it does. Great good morning, everyone. 11:06 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful, but a little rainy Tuesday, July 28th, year of our Lord 20 and 26 here in the great Northeast, and I suspect a few other places as well. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care personal care community, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. Like Charles Dark, Danville, Fred Schweinsberg, South Canaan, Joseph Gahan, Greenfield Township, and Peter DeLeo of Bechtelsville, but he was from Oliphant. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle by gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment. This meeting, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. Well, yesterday, you couldn't call the mayor when the water main broke, just like the last time. You couldn't call City Hall because they closed it down. Who do you call? Like a pipe bursting. Yeah. Ghostbusters, they were the only ones left to call because Mayor Cognetti and her team were in absentia. Now, I got to remind you of this. Ayn Rand, one of the great thinkers of our time, one of the people who understood human nature better than anyone, and she was an anti-communist. And why? Because she experienced it in Russia, which then became the Soviet Union. And she said this: fascism, Nazism, communism, and socialism are only superficial variations of the same monstrous theme, collectivism. Now, my man Mark Mayer sent me this, and the person commenting says, if you vote Democrat next election, you're giving your vote to the Democrat Socialists of America. They are what the Nazis were as they rose to power. In addition, this is why that should concern you. They've only revealed 1% of their extremism and plan for this country. Do you think it stops there? Every person who votes Democrat from this point forward is guilty of destroying the United States of America and the entire free world. This isn't hyperbole. If Bill Maher votes Republican, and he will, then so can you. This devotion of the Democrat Party, it blows me away. I don't get it on any level. If the Republicans became as sick, twisted, and diseased as the Democrats are right now, I would leave them in a fraction of a second. I'm a conservative. I'm a common sense conservative. I'm not a Republican. I happen to be registered that way at the moment. But I mean, at what point do you say enough? Basta. Rich from West Pittston texts in. He says, hi, Bob LTS. If Cognetti and Bresnahan debate, I can just hear the moderator. Paige, do you think gas prices are still too high? And what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? And then to Mr. Bresnahan, Why are so many people losing their Medicare coverage? I could just hear it now. It'll be sickening. I said this one before, I think. It said, let's ask the mayor when she's going to open the grocery stores in Scranton. Oh, it's coming. It's all because that's the way to be cool with the communists. Mamdani's setting the lead. Mamdani's people are running Cognetti's campaign. What do you think is next? Why do you think they got on board? These people aren't complete Hessians. People who run campaigns. They run them for a specific ideology because then it's easy. They run the same playbook and they believe it. Somebody on something Rich McHale had brought up earlier, and this is true, guys. I please don't think we're kidding about this. In Minnesota, they spent millions of dollars to develop dolls that have removable genitalia to teach preschool children about their sick, twisted gender fluidity. And one of the listeners brings it up. The Democrat Party is giving transgender dolls with replaceable parts to 4-year-olds, polluting their minds. This is happening. By the way, I did see this. There's a West Elm Street Bridge in Scranton. All right, it's done. But the listener asked, when are they going to open the new West Elm Street Bridge? Because Paige wants to get her picture taken. It's going to be done at the time that makes sense for her. We don't care about the inconvenience of the drivers or people traversing or doing business or simply living in Scranton. All of this is orchestrated to help Paige Cognetti. It's just like I talked about. She spent $300,000 to paint the crosswalks before the mayoral election. They are now faded as though it never happened, and some of them are covered up by paving that was already planned. That's what incompetence looks like. Another listener, Bob, I cannot believe how much these candidates can lie. Wow. I turn Cognetti's ads off as soon as they appear. How can they live with themselves? I know. I'm flabbergasted with that commercial that she's running. And this is the person who spent $2 million of our tax money, $2 million of our tax money, and has obligated us for hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional cost for a building we do not need. Clearly. Because she's going to rent part of it. She's giving it, the cover story was the police using it for some nonsense, surveillance, when they've got their own headquarters. I was there yesterday. I know it exists. Chris Doherty built it. Unbelievable. Oh, God almighty. So the listener continues. Same thing in Mountaintop. We have a great young man, Alec Rinkavage. By the way, I heard him on Sue Henry the other day talking about the budget, which was, not great, but better than Shapiro would have enforced upon us. In any event, the listener continues. And a woman running against Alec Rinkavage is spewing lies and falsehoods. Do these people hate this country so much? Best to Bresnan, he is our guy, LTS. LTS back at you, Mountaintop. Hi, Bob. A question from Dirt. If we are low on guided bombs and have air superiority, why not drop dumb bombs from planes to keep the pressure on Iran? Use mortar shells, artillery shells, any bomb will do. I agree with you. And that's what we were supposed to be doing. That's what we were supposed to be doing. Somebody on a similar point to the Paige Cognetti nonsense. That water main break was right below the Fife fan stage where the concerts took place. Imagine if that happened when they were on stage. I know. Lee says the pipe was from the 1800s. Just think about that, Bob, and they didn't replace it when they were there. Somebody, George texts in talking about the buckle boots that Fred and I were talking about. He says they still make those boots. We used to call them 4-buckle Arctics. Is that what they were called? How about that? They were my grade school boots. Love them. Another, PG&W sold off the water division, and now Pennsylvania American Water is stuck with the century-old system. And if you recall, they also sold off the watershed land, which is now known as Theta. And it's the land that is now to be data centers. Some of it, yeah. Somebody says, wish Vanilla Ice made a spoof called Pipes Breaking instead of Ice Baby. Oh, another. Bob, back to those sickening transgender dolls. The parents are letting them give their children dolls like that. Well, remember this. The second part of Paige Cognetti and the socialist deal is the parents aren't entitled to know what their children are seeing. The school, the government educates the children, not the parents. Somebody says, I'll bet you the $2 million grant for phase 2 of the Naog pool that was denied by the state will be miraculously approved by Shapiro right before the election. Yep. I got to tell you, it's something. Somebody pointing this out, and I heard this person being interviewed yesterday. An excellent article in today's New York Post by a young woman who was a former Democrat fundraiser who left the party in 2022. She worked for Obama, Hillary, and even helped AOC get elected. She said they've gone so far left and completely abandoned old school Democrats and white working people. She's never going back again, and neither is her family. I wish we had more people like that in Scranton. Just to get it. Just to get it. Bugsar says, the Cognetti and Shapiro never-ending commercials make me sick. Yeah. And the people doing the commercials, shame on you. Hey, let's do Mother Teresa. Well, I'm thinking of sickening things like Paige Cognetti. Let's do Mother Teresa for July 28th. She says, we must know that we have been created for greater things, not just to be a number in the world, not just to go for degrees and diplomas, not just to work and accomplish. We have been created to love and to be loved. This is easy to forget amidst the business of life. You have been created to love and to be loved. Make love a priority. St. Teresa, Mother Teresa for July 28th. Thank you so much for Mary Regina, who adds, thank God they restored the water for Gino Murley Center, and they did. Good stuff. All right, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK, 1120 on my Picardo Jewelers watch. The milk carton is on our live stream, our video live stream on YouTube. Go to Bob Cordaro Show, WILK. You'll find me. I've got my all-time great gray shirt on. Pretty nice one, too, by the way. And side by side, Paige Cognetti on the milk carton because we're looking for her. All of it brought to you by Roach Supply, premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. Yeah. President Lyndon Johnson, the sickening one, the malevolent one. This date, 1965, increasing American troops in Vietnam, and he knew more was coming. And 1973, this date, when this song came out, it was number 3, Three Dog Night, this great song. We were still in Vietnam, still losing Americans, thanks to Lyndon Johnson, the disgraceful one. Oh, Lord. Hey, did anybody check out this Fauci stuff? You got to look it up. Fauci, and I don't know how they got a hold of it, but it's basically a diary by Anthony Fauci, another sickening disgrace and excuse for a human being. And it basically shows that he was lying to the public, who he looks down on all of us. I mean, he's a bureaucrat. Remember, this guy was so clever that he wangled himself a $400,000 plus income from the government. He was the highest paid person in government. His pension is staggering. And that doesn't count how he feathered his nest personally. This is something that has never been explained satisfactorily to me. He feathered his nest personally with royalties from drug companies, from government funding that he helped provide. I don't understand it. The man is a disgrace on every level. He lied to it. He lied to us continually. He feathered his own nest at the cost of the taxpayers. He got a pardon from that disgrace, Joe Biden. He lied publicly over and over and over again. He funded as a workaround of the Obama order not to fund gain-of-function research in the United States, that which created the COVID pandemic, starting in the Wuhan laboratory, lied, covered it up, lied about providing the funding to his friend at Echo Alliance. He's a criminal. He's an out-and-out criminal. And he's going to be testifying tomorrow. He's got his lies ready. I mean, and by the way, he's got his immunity ready from Joe Biden. It's truly unbelievable. What a sickening human being. I remember I made the joke to my old friend Jimmy Brizzetti at the time. I was still in prison, and Fauci started to appear and over again. And I said, what do we have, Phil Rizzuto in charge of the pandemic? And I said Phil Rizzuto specifically because Jimmy was such a crazy Yankees fan. But we would have been a hell of a lot better with Phil Rizzuto doing it than Anthony Fauci, the liar, the reprobate, the corrupt, disgusting fool. I mean, that's what he turned out to be. And everybody wanted to like him in the beginning, including myself. But then you slowly saw that he turned this whole thing into a government power grab. And he lied and lied and lied and lied and over again. Still lying that he didn't recommend school closures, when in his own notes contemporaneous with his actions, he's advising governors and mayors to shut down their schools and their cities and their businesses. And none of it was based on science. The 6-foot separation wasn't based on science. He made it up. The school closures, which were completely unnecessary because it wasn't a vulnerable population. He and the teachers' unions, Randy Weingarten, conspired to close the schools. Absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. And by the way, we got people that just shouldn't even be counted as human beings, and he's among the worst. And his damage was the worst. Somebody texts in, come on, Bob, don't be sarcastic. Page is working diligently with many meetings, conference calls, and lobbyists to use city and federal money to hire a consulting firm and a contractor to keep the banner of Joe Biden up in Greenridge. Yep. Somebody else regarding Shambhala, one of the favorite songs of Mr. Paul, our executive producer. Fun fact, Three Dog Night is a Native American term for a cold winter night. Dogs were one of the few domestic animals the Indians had, and they would sleep with them to stay warm. One dog was chilly, two dogs, it was a cold night, and the 3-dog night was downright frigid. How about that? I don't even know if it's true, and it's great. Well, 11:31 on my Picardo's watch. That means we've got to take a break as Senator Graham, Lindsey Graham's casket leaving the Capitol Rotunda. He'll have funeral services tomorrow in South Carolina. We'll take a break and be back with our Veterans Tribute. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute brought to you once again, dutifully, proudly, patriotically, by our man John Basiliga. And it's Tuesday, so we feature one of his great companies, Serenity Care, a personal care community, senior living in 4 locations in the Mid-Valley section of Lackawanna County, in Old Forge on its southern tip, and then right here in Luzerne County in Wyoming and Kingston. All 4 of these facilities have been completely renovated, and they're accepting new residents. They're beautiful. I mean, you'll be proud to have a family member live there. You'll be proud to live there yourself because John has a passion for providing the highest quality senior care in the area and beautiful personal care homes for seniors to live in. They've also got dementia units at the Mid-Valley and Kingston locations. It is the gold standard for senior living. Serenity Care tells you, live better. And I add, you deserve it. And so does your family member. Charles Dark, he was 77. He was an electrician who attended Juilliard, served on the USS Enterprise, and enjoyed singing. Born in Phoenix, Arizona, he was a 1968 graduate of Central High School in Phoenix. He attended the Juilliard School of Music in New York, where he majored in voice. Upon leaving Juilliard, he returned to Phoenix, Arizona. He then joined the U.S. Navy and did his tour primarily on the USS Enterprise. After his tour ended, he returned to Springfield, Arizona, where he worked as a firefighter for the U.S. Forest Service. He attended North Arizona University, majoring in electricity. He worked as an electrician for the Tucson Gas and Electric Plant. He then returned to Danville in 1987, working as an electrician at Bloomsburg University, Geisinger Medical Center, Gelmet Association in Northumberland. Member of the Grove Presbyterian Church in Danville. He enjoyed singing in the church choir, the Danville Community Singers, and the Susquehanna Valley Chorale. He enjoyed many different hobbies as well, a Renaissance guy. Surviving is his wife, Cynthia Dietz Winterstein, who he married in 1989. 3 stepchildren. And his caregivers, Claire and Tammy Kashner of Danville. Charles Dark, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care personal care community who tells you, live better. Oh, that means the weather. And the weather, AccuWeather, brought to you by our gang up at Montage Mountain Resort. Today, mostly cloudy. Not as warm. Couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm. High 76. Tonight, heavy rain and a thunderstorm. 66 for the low. Tomorrow, more clouds than sun. Humid with a couple of showers. Possible thunderstorm. High 74, low 64. Thursday, partial sunshine with a brief shower. Humid. High 78, low 62. Friday, shifting clouds and sun. Humid with a couple of showers, but it'll be 82 degrees with a low of 59. Saturday, mainly cloudy and humid. High 81, low 62. A great week, once again, for the water park at Montage Mountain, where it's 71 degrees right now. We just didn't know the smoke would be on the North Washington Avenue in downtown Scranton. But this day, 1973, Murph tells us Deep Purple moved up to number 4 with their hit, Smoke on the Water. So the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association, a majority of whom are obviously asses, they put up a banner, a hometown hero banner, intended for veterans with Joe Biden on it. It's on North Washington Avenue, almost at the end, just past Marywood University. And when they were told that these banners, the hometown hero banners, were meant for veterans, they voted 10-5 to keep it up, even though they knew they were wrong, with the president of the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association saying he risked his life every time he left the White House. So you know what level of asses you're talking about here. Now, on top of that, Joe Biden, he ain't even from this hometown. In his own words, he's not from Scranton. He's from Baltimore. Biden banner disgrace. Stolen valor. Stolen town. Day 225. Thanks, Gerard. And thanks, Frank. 2:45 in the morning, Frank Sinatra on a bar stool in Noumea, New Caledonia. And, of course, our guy, Gerard Mayer, he's right here. He's right here in Scranton, suffering as a Scranton resident, just like I am, under the hackles of the horrible mayor, Paige Cognetti. Somebody takes in, Bob LTS, isn't it telling that Cognetti turned off the comments for her official mayor of Scranton page? Yeah. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. It is telling. Like New York, you're being held hostage by complete fools. Get out and vote, says the electrician. Somebody says, 3-dog night at closing time. Another Bob LTS. So you have these freaks that are pissed Trump made cuts to a board of health. And then we have an outbreak due to maybe salad. At the same time, they want to abolish prisons and police. What a joke, says Slick. And, it's true. They actually want to get – that was the second in command of the Democrat Socialists of America on a Sunday talk show on Fox with Shannon Bream. This is what they believe. This is what Paige Cognetti will do. That's the direction they want to take us in. And they will move at light speed. They truly will. On a different subject, hello, Bob. Poet Joe. He says, back in the day, I remember listening to Casey Kasem do his top 40, and he explained 3-dog night as a British term. As in it could be a 1-dog night, 2-dog night, or 3-dog night, same concept, depending on the weather. As I Google it, I don't think he was right. So it may be about the Native Americans. Another listener, just think, Bob, if you have socialist Democrats in and you have something bad to say about Biden banner, they may have you arrested. That's what this ordinance that the 7 left-wing lunatic Democrats voted for on the Luzerne County Council. That's what it's supposed to do. Because your speech would be threatening to someone or make someone cry. Or if you use the wrong pronouns, you'll get fined. And you'll appear before this commission that they are setting up, which guaranteed is going to be full of left-wing lunatics, not a shred of common sense there. Guaranteed. Remember, they want to control speech and thought. They're doing it in Great Britain. The conservative, the Tory party, fell down on its butt and has done nothing to resist the wokeness and the power of the left. And now the left is fully in charge. And you can't speak or think the wrong thing or you get arrested. That's exactly what they want to do here. The playbook's the same. The results are the same. Bacardo Jewelers Watch says 1150. Boy, another great concert. July 28, 1979, Murph tells us Aerosmith, AC/DC, and Thin Lizzy performed at the World Series of Rock, Cleveland Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio. Thin Lizzy is the song he chose. The boys are back in town. A great summer song, isn't it? Bob Cordaro back on the program. That is today's, somebody texts in, that is today's Democrat Party. And these people better wake their ass up before it's too late. You're right. Cabinet guy says, just remember what the KGB did back in the day. You talked against the government, they sent you to the salt mines. Dems are trying to stop us from speaking. Where will they send us? They're not Democrat. They're communist. I was a Democrat. This is communism, period. Another listener, just over the weekend in Paris, a Muslim who claimed Allah made him do it stabbed 3 people, including a pregnant woman. This is the same mindset that lunatic running for Senate in Michigan has. He is a sick bastard. And the mayor of New York, for that matter, the fake doctor in Michigan said we need to put an ogre on a stick to get the message out in reference to Fetterman. And by the way, it bears repeating. The people running Paige Cognetti's campaign are the same people for the Mondami campaign. Please know where she's coming from. And max contributions from multiple members of the Soros family. Please remember this. Hey, before we go, this is Disturbed. Larry turned us on to this way back, Larry from Plymouth. But July 28, 2016, they moved up to number 3 with their version of The Sound of Silence. We're going to finish with that. But along with it comes Plain Jane from Scranton. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to pass on. I watched a movie, and I just want to pass on. I thought it was mind-blowing. Citizen Vigilante. It's 89 minutes long, and whether you agree or disagree with what goes on in the movie, it is bringing things up.
Who is the star of it? Movie. Plain Jane, who's the star of it?
I don't know. I have no idea who any of the people are. I think it's based in Europe or something, but it's really a mind-blowing, I thought. And in some ways it's making people think wrong things in like how to handle stuff, but I just found it very interesting.
Yeah. Well, look at people will take matters into their own hands if these sickos take charge of government. It's
that's what it shows. That's what it's a mind-blowing movie. I just thought I'd pass it on.
Scary
stuff. I heard it on the movie, and I thought about it,
Citizen Vigilante.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Plain Jane. It's good to talk to you 2 days in a row. This is a treat for me.
Well, I'll be calling because I'm wondering whatever happened to Cousin Brucey. I'd like to say hello. Whatever happened to the guy? I used to listen to him every night.
I think he passed away. I think so. Yeah.
God, I remember when he had his first baby. I do. I used to listen to him every night.
Love it. Thanks, Plain Jane.
Okay.
These New Yorkers, you and Mark Mayer, you're my New Yorkers. You keep us informed. And Bo Dietl, of course. Somebody's seeing what happened in the UK. We don't give Musk enough credit for buying Twitter and forcing Facebook's hand to allow free speech. Oh, I do not underestimate the... Elon Musk is an amazing American, not only with the jobs and wealth he's created for others, never mind himself, not only for keeping us in the forefront of technology, but his Doge showed us that government is nothing but a scam intended to take care of friends and fellow compatriots in their NGOs and their nonprofits and their unions. Yeah, scary stuff. And him buying Twitter, converting it to X, has created truth in social media. The Democrat Party and the left controlled it prior to that. Thank God. You are 100% right. By the way, somebody texted, and I love this audience. Army Hammer is the main character in Citizen Vigilante. Thank you. I knew it. You guys would know it. Hey, well, as Disturbed drones on, which we love, we've got to go. 12 o'clock on my Picardo's watch. That means the Sue Henry show's next, the Rob O'Donnell show after that. But for now, we gavel to a close today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow morning. Adios.